Welcome to Keep It Off with Keo. However you've lost your weight, whether it be weight loss surgery or injections, or even if you've done it organically, you are going to find that this is the only fact-based, no bullshit podcast that deals directly with the challenges of keeping your weight off for life and addresses them. I'm Mel Harris. Welcome to this week's episode. Today, I would like to talk to you about something that comes up over and over and over again, and that's weight regain, or even just the fear of weight regain. So let me make a couple of things clear. I know we all think that all we've got to do is look at food and we've put on weight. And I know that is very tongue-in-cheek, but those thoughts do go through our heads. Of course it's not true. We know that weight goes on really, really, really slowly. None of us woke up one morning and suddenly, oh my God, I'm a size 24. It doesn't happen, okay? Most of the time we don't even notice it going on. But when we've lost a lot of weight and we start to regain, it's because our weight has become sneaky. It starts creeping in through the back door of our behaviour changes. Behaviour changes that we probably don't even realise we're doing. And then it shows up well before it shows up on the scales. I'm going to give you an example of what happened to me. I was probably, I would say, about 3 years after surgery, and I'd lost loads and loads of weight and I was feeling absolutely chuffed with myself. And I went out for dinner with my family. We were celebrating my nephew's birthday. And at the end of the meal, of course, birthday cake came out. And I took a piece of birthday cake. And my brother, who is the person that always keeps me accountable, he said to me, Mel, what are you doing? And I said, I'm having a piece of birthday cake. And he said, why? And I said, because I can. I'm normal now. I'm okay. And he sort of looked at me with a bit of a frown and left me to it. I had a piece of birthday cake. To be honest, I didn't. I actually just had 2 mouthfuls. I just wanted the taste of it. And not only was it a mistake, it wasn't the mistake that you possibly think it was. The real mistake came the next day when I got on the scales and nothing had happened. Big mistake. As Julia Roberts says in Pretty Woman, huge. Because guess what happened next time I went out for a birthday meal? I had another piece of birthday cake. And before I knew it, I was having dessert with most of my meals. And yes, I woke up one morning, I weighed myself, and I'd gone up by nearly 3 stone. I freaked. Now, luckily, I addressed it, and now I'm going to tell you what you can look out for to find out, are you on the road of weight regain? You might be right at the beginning of that road, you might be well on your way, but there are red flags that you can look out for so that you can deal with it before you've put on so much weight that it sends you spiralling downward. So, there are behaviour signs that you can look out for. For example, have you found that you are skipping meals? Or even worse maybe, skipping meals and then overeating later to the point where, oh my God, I'm really full. What about grazing? Have you found that you are now grazing throughout the day, a little bit here, a little bit there, just picking at this, picking at that? Again, look out for that, because what you're doing is you're consuming a lot more calories than you realise because you're not conscious of what you're doing. And The other thing you need to look out for is whether or not you've started to drink your calories. Now, what does that mean? It means, are you drinking fruit juices that are packed full of sugars? Are you drinking alcohol? Now, alcohol is literally empty calories. You get calories from alcohol, but you do not get any other nutritional benefits whatsoever. Now, how are you eating? Have you started eating again while you're distracted, whilst you're on the phone, whilst you're watching telly, maybe whilst you're driving? Now, for me, that was always my worst thing, because when I was driving, I know that if I was in the car alone, I would be eating foods that I would not eat in front of other people. So I was eating crisps or, I don't know, something I've bought in a petrol station. Either way, I wasn't eating healthily, and I was feeling safe because nobody else knew about it. So that is a really big sign to watch out for. When we eat, we need to eat mindfully. We need to sit down at a table, and we need to just concentrate on eating our food so that it goes into our conscious minds and we're aware of what we're doing and how we're doing it. Now, the other thing that you can look for in a similar vein is whether or not you're now eating too quickly again. Are you taking large bites instead of very small bites? Are you maybe not chewing your food thoroughly enough? And I know it's frustrating to have to do these things. I actually remember I used to sit on the tube, and there'd be these very, very beautiful slim girls sitting opposite me with a bag of crisps. And I remember one time this woman had one crisp in between her thumb and her forefinger, and she was literally nibbling it like a mouse. And I swear to you, I wanted to go and shove that bloody crisp into her mouth and say, eat the damn thing. But I get it now. We all need to eat mindfully and slowly. We will eat a lot less if we do. Now, let me talk about the scales. You and I all know that when we're doing well, when we know that we are on a roll, we're on those scales every day. So let me ask you a question. Have you been avoiding your scales for maybe weeks? When was the last time you weighed yourself? And I am not advocating that you weigh yourself every day. Absolutely not. And for those of you that maybe weigh yourself 2 or 3 times a day, stop it. Don't do it. You are not going to get any kind of positive affirmation from weighing yourself 3 times a day. On the contrary, your hormones are going to be up and down. You might have just had a meal. You might not have had a meal, but either way, your scales are going to fluctuate. And the minute you get on a scale, you think, oh my God, how did I put on half a pound? Is the minute you start to feel bad and you start to self-destruct, basically. So please don't do it. But at the same time, at the other end of the spectrum, don't avoid the scales for weeks, because it's not the scales that you're avoiding. It's something else in your behavior, something else in the back of your mind, and you know what it is. Only you can tell yourself what you're really avoiding. And it's the same with your follow-up appointments with your support team. Your healthcare system, people that carried out your surgery or who are prescribing your weight loss drugs, they all have a support system in place for you. Not for always, especially when it's weight loss surgery, but nevertheless, you do have a support system there. Are you making the best use of it? Have you started maybe cancelling your appointments or coming up with reasons why you can't go? Again, it's the same as the scales. You're not avoiding your appointments. You're avoiding something else. There's something else that you don't want to face right now. So don't cancel your appointments, okay? It's really, really important. They keep you accountable. They keep you on track. And look at the foods that you're eating. Has your behavior changed so that you're now making choices that you probably weren't making before? You're now going for higher calorie foods, soft foods with a lot of calories, like soft cheeses, for example, or even liquids that don't provide any kind of satiety at all. None of these things will fill you up long term. So think about that. Think about all those behavior things that could be an indication that you're on the road to regain. And then there's emotional warning signs, emotional red flags that you can look out for. For example, we all know that real life is really tough and it throws us curveballs all the time. It always will. The stresses and strains of everyday life are a real challenge. Have you started using food again to cope with those challenges? Think about that carefully. Have you started using food again to cope with those challenges? Have you started going into a mindset of, oh, sod it when things go wrong? So you've had something that you shouldn't have had, or something's happened that you couldn't cope with. Oh, sod it. Why do I bother? I might as well forget about this. Are you doing that? We all do at some point. I've done it many, many times. But if you do, all I want you to do is be aware of it. Because it's only when we are aware of these things that we can challenge them. Okay? Now, the other thing is about your food choices. If you're feeling anxious about your food choices, if you're feeling deprived or resentful, again, ask yourself why. A lot of times people say to me, yeah, but I just don't like it. The fact of the matter is that our taste buds change. They evolve regularly. There are foods that you didn't like years ago that you crave now. There are foods that I absolutely detested. I couldn't bear the smell of them that I now have regularly in my diet and I really enjoy them. I had a bowl of porridge this morning. Oh my goodness, you would never have gotten me to eat porridge previously. And I really enjoyed it. And yes, it does fill me up till lunchtime. So thank you very much, Mr. Oates. Maybe you're even avoiding social situations because of this anxiety. Oh my goodness, there'll be nothing there I can eat or whatever. Somehow you'll find something that you can eat. And if not, why not tell your host in advance what you can and can't eat? I'm sure they'll be happy enough to cater for you. And let's look at the obvious or the more obvious physical signs. Are your clothes getting tighter? You went out, you bought a whole load of new clothes because you've lost lots of weight, and suddenly are they feeling a little bit tighter? That's probably one of the most obvious signs. And yeah, if you want, you could say, oh, I'm bloated, or I'm hormonal, or us women can say, yeah, well, we're due our period. Maybe for 1 or 2 days. But when our clothes are continually feeling tighter, those excuses simply don't work. You've got to get real with yourself. Okay? And if you've started, avoiding social situations, if you have gone out and bought a bigger size, big warning sign. Now, all of these happen to all of us. It doesn't mean that we are broken in any way. You might relate to some of these things. You might relate to just 1 or 2 of them. You may even relate to most of them. But address them now. Deal with them now. There is never a better time to take action than now. So let's get onto it. Do not wait until you have regained so much weight that you don't know where to start. The more weight you regain, the harder it is to shift it. Remember how hard it was in the first place. But get support. Reassess your routine. Go back to what worked originally that helped you lose weight in the first place. Guys, you are not alone in this. Reach out to my community, follow me on social media, go to my website. You will find that I will be able to help you deal with all of these matters. And more importantly, I will share everything that I did to help me overcome these obstacles and get back off the road of regain and on the road to maintenance. Join me now. Let me help you keep it off for life. See you next time.